What you're looking at here is the top 15 heavyweight rankings with all four sanctioning bodies, the WBO, IBF, WBC, and WBA. And what jumps out to me here about these rankings is the fact that despite back-to-back KO losses and a long time out of the ring, Deontay Wilder is still ranked at number one by the WBC. And he's been there for quite some time now. Remember, in the run-up to the Dillian Whyte-Tyson Fury fight, White was actually not the number one at the time. He was the interim champion. So the number one spot was occupied by Deontay Wilder. Okay, despite the back-to-back knockout defeats. Now, contrast that with Anthony Joshua. Joshua, in his last fight, lost to Usyk, but the fight before that, he was unified champion, right? And well, going into the Usyk fight, he was still unified champion. And he had 3 belts as opposed to 1 belt with Deontay Wilder. He lost on points as opposed to being stopped twice in a row. And Anthony Joshua has beaten much better opponents than Deontay Wilder has beaten in his career. But AJ has been dropped right down in the rankings. So he got dropped down to number 4 with the WBO from being champion, number 4 with the IBF, and I'll come back onto this in just a second. With the WBC, he's not ranked at all. Now, he's never held the WBC title, but still, should it really come down to how much money you've paid a sanctioning body to be able to get ranked? Aren't the rankings supposed to be a reflection of what the fighters have actually achieved in the ring? You know? Then, and I'm talking from an idealistic standpoint here, of course. I'm not acting like this is realistic. Then we look at the WBA, who Anthony Joshua was champion for, and he's dropped down to number 5 with them. So none of the sanctioning bodies are as generous to Anthony Joshua as the WBC are with Deontay Wilder. Just one loss removed from being unified champion, and he's been dropped down this low with all 3 sanctioning bodies that he was previously champion with. Now, if you look at the people that have ranked above him, with the WBO, they've got Joe Joyce, Joe Parker, and Frank Sanchez above AJ. I think that that is bizarre. You know, I don't think that any of these 3 guys realistically should be above AJ yet. The IBF, even more bizarre. You've got the likes of Luis Ortiz and Filip Hrgović ranked above AJ. How is that possible? Luis Ortiz, what has he done recently? Then, you know, that Anthony Joshua hasn't done. He beat a guy in his last fight and he was dropped several times, who AJ beat about 5 years ago. Filip Hrgović, as good as he might turn out to be, who has he beaten lately to be ranked above Anthony Joshua? Again, absolutely bizarre. And I'm sure, you know, it's really all about lobbying the sanctioning body and it's about politics behind the scenes. But in terms of justifying it to the public, I don't see how they can justify this. Then we look at the WBC, AJ's not present there at all. Again, that's just bizarre to me. Martin Bakoli's there, Michael Hunter's there, Ajit Kabayel has made the WBC top 15, but Anthony Joshua has not. Is this the Al Heyman influence, making sure that AJ doesn't get anywhere near the top of the WBC rankings? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Then we look at the WBA, and above Anthony Joshua is Hughie Fury. Remember, AJ was just WBA heavyweight champion 2 fights ago. And somehow they've seen fit to put Hughie Fury, Robert Helenius, Michael Hunter, and Daniel Dubois above him. Now, Daniel Dubois, of course, is also the regular WBA, so we might be able to discount that ranking. But Michael Hunter, Helenius, Hughie Fury, do they deserve to be above AJ at this stage? And any of you who are perhaps new to my channel, understand that this is not an AJ fanboy channel. That's not what I do here. I've criticized Anthony Joshua a lot over the years, just as I've criticized every other heavyweight and every other fighter. What I do here is objective analysis of fights and situations. It's all about being objective. It's not about fanboying for one guy, never criticizing him, or hating on one guy and never praising him. My motto in this channel has always been, no fighter is below praise and no fighter is above criticism. Okay? With that being said, these rankings, I don't think can be justified, in my view. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, particularly the WBC, who have Deontay Wilder still at number 1, despite back-to-back knockout defeats against Tyson Fury in a long time out the ring. And there doesn't seem to be any news on when Deontay Wilder will return to the ring, with the WBC still having ranked at number 1. I mean, they held Deontay Wilder's hand through the entirety of his title run. They allowed him to get away with not fighting more dangerous mandatories and so on. They gave him knockover job mandatories like Berman Stavern the second time. How on earth did Stavern become mandatory when he hadn't fought in about 2 years? And he'd had one fight in about 2 years since the first Wilder fight, and that was against a journeyman was it Derek Rossi that he fought, the journeyman? How on earth can they justify making Stavern mandatory in that situation? I don't know, but they did, and they gave him Wilder as a knockover job. And by the way, he got dropped in that Derek Rossi fight. Stavern, that is. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I know other people have brought up the WBC with regards to other weight divisions and some strange things they're doing there as well. Look, none of the sanctioning bodies are squeaky clean. Far from it. They've all done some very questionable things, and I'm sure they will continue to do questionable things. But in this particular instance, it's the WBC that we're focusing on. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, is decentralized, and is 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.